Hey everyone, welcome back, where we break down the hottest stocks in the simple terms. No confusing charts, fancy talks, just straight facts to help you decide if you should buy a stock. Today we are talking about Adobe. The symbol is ADBE. We'll go from industry to Adobe's focus, companies in the stock overview, pros and cons, and what analysts think about these stocks, including valuation and industry comparison. Every part connects smoothly. Let's get started. Currently the stock is trading at $325 and the PE ratio is 20 and the market cap of Adobe is roughly $137 billion. Before we dive into Adobe, first let's understand the world Adobe lives in. This is creative software and generative AI space. Over the last 5 years, the industry has grown like fire. Earlier, only experts could make the design, but now everyone with a phone can create image or video using AI just with a prompt. Here are a few numbers to prove it. In 2020, the global creative software market was $6.2 billion. By 2025, it reached $9.62 billion, growing 7.5% every year on an average. Also, the generative AI market, which includes the tool that makes image and video from text, was just $5 to $6 billion in 2020. By 2025, it jumped to $37.89 billion. That's roughly growing about 37 to 44% per year, and it's expected to cross 1 trillion by 2034. Adobe's own Creative Cloud paid user went from 12 million in 2017 to 37 million by the end of 2024 and 30 to 40 million in 2025. That's roughly 1 million new users every 3 months on an average. So what exactly changed? Cloud tools now make up to 57% of the creative software use. People work from home, team edits together in the real time. America is the biggest market. 61% of North America's creative software revenue comes from the US startups, and big companies both want these tools. Generative AI is now mainstream. Tools like Adobe Firefly, Midjourney, and Canva is used by the professionals and beginners. The shift has made powerful tools available to anyone. Content is being created faster than ever. But industry is changing fast, and Adobe is fighting back by investing heavily in the AI, partnering with companies, launching enterprise-level tools, creating new income from AI-generated content. Let's take a look at the company's stock and where it stands. The company roughly started in 1982. Today it has market cap of $140 billion. 90% of their income comes from the subscription. People pay monthly for Creative Cloud, Document Cloud, and Experience Cloud. This gives steady and predictable cash flow. But stock is roughly 32% down the past year. And most of the drop comes from the high competition in the AI space, slower growth than expected, and the volatility in the current market. But the stock has pretty strong fundamentals. In Q2 2025, the revenue went 11% up by $5.87 billion, and the future revenue is expected to be $20.44 billion. It's expected for financial year 2025, the revenue would be around $23 billion, and the stock currently trades at 20 PE, which is much lower than the historical average of 46. This makes stock a bit undervalued for the long-term investors. Let's talk about the pros and cons of this stock. Every stock has two sides. Here's in Adobe in the simple terms. The good part. Market leader. Holds around 58% of professional creative software market. Tools like Photoshop are the industry standards. AI growth and engine. Firefly has generated 24 billion plus AI assets. AI revenue expected is 250 million in 2025 just from the Firefly. There was strong money flow. Subscription income is around 18 billion annual recurring revenue, which is up 12%, and free cash flow stands at $8.3 billion. The current PE is very attractive, way lower than the peers, 61, and the industry is 41. The company is highly profitable. The gross margin stands at 89% and operating margin stands at 31%. But let's talk about the risk as well. Adobe is facing tough competition from companies like Canva, which has around 185 million users. They do have a cheap pricing. Midjourney, which is AI expert, Figma, for designing with the teams, and a lot of open source tools coming from the other companies. Slower growth. Revenue growth 11%, below some peers. Net profit growth over 5 years is 0.80 versus peer 1.58. Debt to equity ratio is 0.53, whereas the peers has 0.20. And not to mention, the stock is 32% down this year, roughly. Adobe is a strong base, but it must beat fast-moving rivals, especially the Canva and Midjourney. Let's talk about what experts say about this stock. As of now, from the 40 analysts studied Adobe, the consensus is buy. Average price target is 452, where the potential is as high as 605. Let's talk about the breakdown as well. Out of 40, 20 says strong buy, 5 says buy, and 12 says hold, and 3 says sell. The stock has average volatility. Overall, it's a good, solid buy from most of the analysts. Analysts believe in the Adobe's AI future, but they do also want the proofs of faster growth. Now let's talk about the valuation. Do you think the stock is cheap? The current PE ratio 20, which is way lower than the industry 41 and the peers is 61. Earnings is 4 out of 6, stable but not the fastest stock. Growth is 2 out of 6. Revenue and profit growth below the peers. Performance 2 out of 6. Net profit growth is bit slow, and health is 1 out of 6, and that's mainly due to the higher debt compared to the peer. Even with the slower growth, the low PE makes it looks like an attractive stock as of now. Now here are some stats which talks about how Adobe looks on 7 to 8 metrics when it's compared with the industry. In summary, Adobe makes more profit per dollar than most. It uses capital well. Debt is higher, but not the dangerous level. The big question is, can it fight the competition? Adobe is a strong company in the growing industry. AI is the future, and Adobe is still leading with the Firefly in the Creative Cloud. The stock is 32% down this year. Analyst says buy with a price target of 453. That's roughly 36% upside. But you cannot ignore the risk at the same time from the Canva, Figma, and the free AI tools that are coming up. Now, if you're a long-term investor, you definitely want to look in this stock because Adobe believes in AI. They have been in the creative space for long, and they also work on the subscription model, which increases the annual recurring revenue. Now, what do you think? Will Adobe win the AI race? Comment below, buy, hold, wait. Like, share, subscribe for more simple stock breakdowns. This is not a financial advice, so please do your own research before investing. See you in the next video. Thank you.